Hey guys, it's late. I'm gonna play in the 11 p.m. Modern Daily. I'm not playing Ascension this time. I'm gonna be playing I guess it's a rock deck. It's, it's black, white, and green. Um, I guess I'll just show the deck list. Should be easy enough. Uh, this used to be a deck that was like main deck for Aethersworn Canonist, main deck for Dark Confidant. It's sort of pre-boarded to have a better matchup against Zoo right now because Zoo is all over the place. So I'm not sure if this is any good, but Phyrexian Crusader blanks all of Zoo's removal, and if I can get a sword on that, that can take me a long way. Mirran Crusader is another option for the sword, who can be quite good. And then I just have a lot of removal. I think I like losing a path for another smother. I have two planeswalkers who give me good mid to late game. Inquisition of Kozilek is great versus Zoo and everything else. It's just a great card, I think. Thoughtseize is fine too. I only have two Dark Confidant because like one on the play is fine versus Zoo. It's great in the other matchups, but I really am stressing the Zoo matchup because everybody's playing it. I guess it's just an easy deck to play. And I have 4 Tarmogoyf. Those come out sometimes. Gee, I play a lot of land, and I have 2 disruptions, so I'm fine versus combo for a while, usually. Inquisition and Thoughtseize are also great versus Zoo, as is Go for the Throat, so altogether I think this hand's okay. Looks like we're playing against Birthing Pod, and Thoughtseize would have been a lot better turn 1. Although he just witnesses it anyway. Well, yeah, that's sort of the end of the game already. I have no main deck way to deal with that pod. What? Well, that was incorrect. So I'm gonna kill that. Oh, Christ. Well, that's too bad. Yeah, that makes sense, of course. Would have been quite terrible to make that play had he not drawn a second pod. I don't know that it's a great play even with drawing the second pod, because if I do have 2 Thoughtseize, he goes from completely winning the game to losing. I don't know that it's possible for me to win here. Let's see what happens though. Scholar seems okay. Probably he can just take Goyf, to be honest. Like, he's just hanging out, having a ball over there. I think this deck is a little bit better than Ascension versus this metagame. This deck does very, very well against combo, and I think it can hold its own against Zoo. It's not a great matchup, but I'm not sure what really does better than like 55 to 60% against Zoo. And that's the frustration of the format for me right now. Go for the throat, seems fine, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure he can deal with Goyf some other way. If I can get sword on the Goyf somehow, he'll have to get a dude to kill it. That's sort of all I have going for me right now. That's interesting. Is that really the best he can do right now? Oh, there's Malira. Okay. So he kills me pretty soon. And yeah, we're just gonna give this one up. Now that he's shown Malira, there isn't much information to be gained. Some people play Splinter Twin combo there. I'm gonna board in Knight of Souls Betrayal. It seems like it kills a decent amount of his deck and irritates him a bit during his combo. I don't know about the Planeswalkers or the Crusaders. Crusader seems sort of bad against Malira, I guess. So I think maybe that's my board plan. I don't know if the Sword of Body and Mind is any good. My cat's come to hang out. He likes to sneak onto the desk, sort of going around me, just in case I don't want him up here. Arena, if I can get Arena active with the Knight of the Reliquary, I think I just win. If I can keep pot off the table, I think I win. Oh, Gaddock. Gideon, not good enough. Whew. Yeah, like that last game, if I thought to use this pot away, I can probably win just by playing Tarmogoyf. Like, the deck is extremely fragile in that way, and that's why you don't see Birthing Pod doing well anywhere. There just isn't enough redundancy in the deck. Their infinite combo is also 3 cards, which are creatures, and none of them has more than 2 toughness. So this hand isn't going to keep pot off the table. It does have double knight, and I can't just mulligan into a hand that can stop pod, because he doesn't even have pod every time. He should have pod 40% of the time, around about. Just based on the way he's playing, I feel like he has it in this hand. He's just playing very quick and crisp, as though he has very clear play. So yeah, there it is. So it's not necessarily the end of the world. I have neither Reliquary here, so I don't know what he's grabbing, but I'm going to be able to grab Arena next turn, and I'm going to activate Arena and Path in one turn, which is going to put some kinks in his creature chain for sure. I don't really see a difference between Temple Garden and Overgrown Tomb here. I think both are fine. So he's already 4-4. Having Path here is great in case he grabs Kitchen Finks or something. ideally he will not have Wall of Roots. Wall of Roots is a sick card in this deck, man. Beast of a card. Even if he deals with the knight somehow, I have another knight with path next turn, so I have quite a lot going on in my hand. That turn 1 spot where I already knew I had Birthing Pod, by the way, with like considerable confidence. It's an example of how much you can pick up off timing tells on Moto. And I guess I probably picked some of that up from playing a lot of online poker, where timing tells are a huge deal. They definitely exist on Moto as well. Yeah, all of a sudden he has a much more complicated decision on turn 3. Does have the Wall of Roots and path. Wow, that's brutal. What's he grabbing? Yeah, Finks seemed like the right play. Well, I get to path that and swing and play another knight, and all of the above is pretty good for me. It's unfortunate that I'm giving him the land. This is why I was just saying that maybe I prefer another smother. Leaving up white-black. I don't have a black 1 casting cost instant, but I figure there are definitely more imposing ones than green 1 casting cost instants, so if I'm gonna represent anything, it might as well be black. There's gotta be a 0% chance that that ever makes a difference in his play. Yeah, we're sort of just hanging out, probably getting beaten. We get to fetch Arena next turn. Then we can fetch Treetop Village. So we do have a decent clock backed by quite a bit of disruption going on. Oh, jeez. Necrotal as well. Yeah, this is just absolutely brutal if they draw Birthing Pod, obviously. They don't draw Birthing Pod that often though, so their deck isn't actually good. Black and green. Seems about right. And I have step in hand too. So possible I just won the game. Oh, he has path still though. My hopes, they got so high. Yeah. I've tried making videos with this deck before, and this is a consistent problem that there just isn't much to say or see. Like, there's not much intense decision making going on when I'm playing this deck. The decisions were made in deck building, and then we see what happens. Man, that's a good hand. I guess while we're doing nothing, I just want to show you the math on drawing birthing pod, just so you know. So I know. If we just make a list from 1 to 60, and so what we're interested in is the number of combinations of what are we interested in? 60 minus 1? Is that what we're doing? Let me finish this and then I'll work it all out. He just kills me next turn, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. Okay, that's probably an unlosable match for him if he resolves birthing pod. Let's work this out though. We want to know the number of combinations, the number of ways we can draw like 7 cards out of 60, and then we want to know the number of ways we can draw 7 cards out of 56. So we see how many combinations of cards don't have birthing pod and how many combinations do. We want to divide 56, choose 1. Seems wrong. Did that the wrong way around. And then we want 1 minus that. Copy that all the way down. So this is, we have the number of combinations. Let me show all the parts of this. Combinations of ways we can draw 1 card out of 60. So there are 60 ways we can draw 1 card out of 60, and wow, it gets big pretty quickly, as you can see. And then how about the number of combinations of ways we can draw X cards out of 56? And again, getting very big, but you see that there are a few less ways you can draw 2 cards out of 56. So the number of combinations, the number of combinations difference is how many times he's drawn the relevant cards. So if we do column E minus column D, wrong way around, column D minus column E, that's the number of times that he actually has the card, and then if we divide that by the total number of possible combinations, that's just a different way of arriving at the same thing that we just did there. So there are 1,770 ways to draw 2 cards out of 60. There are 1,540 ways to draw 2 cards out of 56. So those 230 extra ways are ways that have those extra 4 cards in them, those birthing pods. And so this gives us all the percent chances. As you can see, a 7-card hand has almost exactly 40% chance to have birthing pod. We can graph this real quick just to get a better idea what it looks like exactly. Oops, what just happened? just do that. Yeah, it dies after 56 because one of our conditions only has 56 cards, but we can see how the probability changes approaching 1, and can see that it hits 50% around about 10 cards in. So say he wants a 70% win rate with a birthing pod deck. I appreciate that some people will settle for less than 70%, but he doesn't actually see birthing pod until 15 cards. If he has to draw a birthing pod to win the game, and he wants to win 70% of games, he has to be consistently seeing 15 cards of his deck. That's about how long it takes him to be drawing birthing pods 70% of the time. If he wants to draw it 60% of the time, he needs to be seeing 12 cards in his deck. His deck doesn't have any blue card draw. I guess it has Seer for Scry 1, but he really has very little way to actually draw the birthing pod, is the point. And that's basically why you just can't play that deck. It's not a deck that's going to consistently win you games. Right, so that was round 1. I'll shut this down and bring it back up at round 2.